my screen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Storm King's Thunder. Carlos, because you don't have your notes, tell us everything that happened. No, I'm just teasing. Where we last left off our rambunctious bunch, as I get into Roll20, because I had it up early, but I accidentally closed it.
We're a professional stream team.
The party had, I'm just going to say it because most of you don't have your notes. The party had just managed to overthrow and then underthrow Chiefess Ga within her fortress of Grutog, which was less like a battle against a mighty force and more like a blender, a tiny red-plated, armor-plated blender just going, nyeh, and everyone just trying to keep up with the poor thing, while everyone else was trying to just like slow down this giant monster that was, well, tearing them all apart. During the battle, after breaching the main entranceway, the party came to the conclusion that the cart that Chiefess Gut was sat upon was vulnerable enough that it could be destroyed, or at least damaged to an angle. So, one corner of it was indeed broken at an angle. When it was, Chiefess Gut fell down because she fell forward, her size being so immense she physically could not move, fell forward, threw it, and then down 60 feet. So she's now head over heels in the mud, with a magical thing of water next to her so that she can always drink so she doesn't dehydrate, but she'll at least starve until she's done enough to move. Because Nemo was very concerned about a fucking hill giant, who figured? Anyway, I'm going to remove some spell effects from the crowd because we don't presume they're there anymore. But the party did indeed get a great deal of loot from the venture, the event, and a great deal of slaughter as well. Oh, and now those orcs that were there last time that I didn't see are no longer here, so I'm going to get rid of them. So, now that you're all present, battered, but victorious, with loot in hand, what would you like to do?
Question, Han. Just to clarify on what we were talking about earlier. You mentioned specifically that the new shield that we got last session required attunement.
Correct.
Now, I was under the presumption that I already had 3 attunements, which were Golai Tori, the Belt of Dwarven Kind, and the Gloves of Giant Strength.
No, you got the item from reaching the Thanehood, and that was a combination of 2 items. So it was the same attunement slot for 1 item.
Yes.
It was the value of 2 in 1.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify just specifically because I couldn't remember what the gloves were. So I said straight away, I believe they're Dwarven thingamajig, but I'm not 100% certain.
I had the details written down, but they were essentially... they give you the strength bonus that you have, so I do believe that they were of stone giant strength. But they were also... it also counted as a belt of constitution for dwarves. So, a dwarven belt. A dwarven kind belt. But it was that and the gauntlets into 1 item. But it was... The gauntlets are to 1 piece of it, and the almost the girdle and the belt of it are to the other.
Right, so... In my notes now, I'm putting a bracket around Belt of Dwarven Kind and Gloves of Stone Giant Strength, just to indicate that they are the same entity.
Yes, I think what happened was you put those down there because it was essentially the 2 effects of those items put into 1.
Yes, which is why I wanted to triple check.
I will look back later on what I officially named it because I don't have my notes with me right now and I'm not getting up because I'm lazy.
But yeah, I thought that I would just ask just say in the actual campaign, just in case I made a mistake. So there we go.
Mm-hmm. So then. Also, I'll say at some point, Glory shrinks and then just stands still for half a minute. Just do...
Yeah, that would have been during the looting, I assume.
Yeah, I'll just sit to one side and just take a breather. And deal with the haste come down. That's what it's like when you have a lot of caffeine.
Yeah, it's like a sugar
You
high.
can relate.
Yes, I can.
Well then.
So, what's our plan of action now?
What time is it?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
asking me.
Yes. Who else am I asking?
I don't know. Maybe you guys could guess based on your travel time.
The sky.
Kirok.
It's got to be evening, right?
What time is it?
Sky.
Showtime.
So, you had a busy morning in Neverwinter, teleported to Waterdeep, got teleported to the Queen's Court. While you were there, that took about maybe 30 minutes to an hour. You were then teleported away from the Queen's Court to Golden Fields and then traveled. And that would have taken up most of the day, so you'd be in the late afternoon. I'd say that the skies are just starting to get orange.
Do we want to quickly do a run around of what's left of this fort, and then see if we can find somewhere that's safe to rest? I don't want to rest in here with, her down there.
Well,
You just every now and
But
again
just like
hear,
her presence.
in Giant, you hear every now and again, "Oh,
Yeah, it's like I don't know what she's saying, but I don't really want to find out.
she's just asking if anybody's here. That's all.
I'd rather she think we're not here.
Yeah.
So should we have a quick go around?
hungry."
And oh god, right, let's get away from her.
Let's
Well,
have a
we
quick
could-
run round, make sure it's safe, then we can just try camping up in one of the tents down below or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But
down
that got
down there.
absolutely destroyed.
There's that
yeah.
problem.
There were
What-
several
We can put our
fireballs
own-
fired at that location.
Okay.
What about the cave that's down there? Might be safe.
That might be worth looking around actually.
Doesn't
I
that, doesn't
will
that
say,
lead
guys-
to where her head is, though?
Yes.
Maybe let's not do that actually.
How about we just go back to Goldfields where our buddy's waiting?
I mean, it's a long way away.
But we can fly.
How much flying has Huru got?
I think
Probably
we used
about-
it through.
You used a bit of Hero. You used a bit of Hero, and then rocked. Funnily enough, that would still fit.
We talk about him as if he's a potion. You used a little bit of him, now you can use a little bit more of him. It's a bird.
He's a very important bird. He's a,
Exactly.
he's a
If I'm
VIP.
correct, you guys did say that you were like, somewhat outside of Grutog.
Like,
You were
couple of
saying,
hours.
Yeah.
So if I were to cut it at that point, you would have maybe about 35 miles of it left. You could get
We can't get there.
you could get closer to say I'd say at a stretch you could get late in the evening towards maybe the Barge right in or Wormfort or something like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, if there is,
Oh,
if the barge right in is in fact an inn, we can just stop off there and spend the night there, and then head for Golden Fields in the morning.
I mean, do we have to go to Golden Fields? We can send them a
That's
message.
the
let them
question.
I
know.
mean, that's where our buddy is.
We need to catch up with Roxanne.
We can send them a message easy enough.
Yeah, I can easily do that.
Because I think this can't.
Can we do that now? Maybe they can meet us in Bridge, right? If that's where we're going.
Yeah,
Can you do it now, Sarah?
Yeah. I can easily do it right now.
Okay. I can do it tomorrow.
So where are we meeting them? Should we meet them?
Womford?
Let's meet them at Barge, right?
Barge, right? Can we get?
Womford is technically closer. They're very
Yeah.
You
close to
flew over Womford, you are aware that it is a small village.
Yeah.
Small, but it's closer.
Yeah,
Right.
but
I mean,
More
even
efficient.
just like if we end up camping near a civilized area, it's probably safer.
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe
say
we
I
can just
also
get us onto
Yeah.
the road, and then it's quicker to travel on the road than across the country.
Hmm. And you have a Zero that's not here, but I'll say he could definitely summon horses.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's probably got the spell slots left. He didn't use too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. He just
also I was
used
going to
enough.
say as well, due to our visit to Neverwinter, I also now have the ability to make us a immovable dome of basically literally no one being able to come in and or out that we can literally sleep for in 8 hours.
That's useful.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm
that
sorry,
sounds
Erwin,
good.
but all I'm thinking of is the Crystal Dome from the Crystal Maze.
Yes.
Can it?
I mean, technically, it does say it is a hemisphere. Or hold on, how do I say it on
Hemisphere.
here?
That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 10-foot radius hemisphere.
We can envision it
Yeah.
as the thing from the Crystal Dome, as golden
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
rains
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, basically
Well,
that.
to be fair, you guys just got a lot of gold.
and all the guild comes down. I say
Okay,
guild.
so-
We're not in FF world right now,
Yeah,
so
well,
there we
this-
go.
Time
this
for
isn't Final Fantasy.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, so we're flying and riding and
Yeah, let's just see how far we can get on Hero and see what happens. And send Rockfan a message if you can that we're heading
do that.
towards Bridge Right. We'll meet them somewhere in that vicinity as soon as possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You
Exactly
can
what.
reply back to a sending message, can't they?
Yes. If the sender
Yeah.
if the target knows me, which Rockfin knows me.
Yeah.
can
Unfortunately
answer-
for them.
Okay, let's get flying.
Let's go! Let's
Also, I was
get
a little
out of
shit
here!
talking about not having my notes. They're on my PS4.
I'm sorry, but if
master.
if we meet Richard O'Brien in the Barge Right Inn or Womford or wherever we're going, I'll be very, very happy.
Richard who?
Richard O'Brien.
Oh my god, he doesn't know which O'Brien is.
No, I don't.
I don't.
No.
Okay,
Oh,
What
from
is
Crystal
my
Skull.
age?
You fooled.
that's a big tangent. Okay, let's
No, never mind.
let's fly to.
Two words, tight trousers is all I'm gonna say.
One word harmonic.
yeah,
Also, time warp.
yeah.
West to the top. All right. Anyway.
There we go, now you got it.
I am now aware of this man. So, while
Why am I
phones are
getting
being
a phone
rang,
call?
Because Narian is a very popular person.
actually, it's a response from Rockfin from the sending message.
Hello?
You're saying you're going towards the barge right in near Wormford, and you get a response going, "Where the fuck is that?"
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Head number 3, you're through.
My brain just immediately went to hello, hello, yes, I've got a giant bird. Hello,
I can't hear you, the signal's really bad. I'm going through cloud, I'm sorry.
That was another bird. That was a bird collision.
Oh, that was a swan. We hit a swan. Oh no.
Oh god, they
Queen's gonna
belong
be
to the
pissed.
queen, don't they? Ah.
Yeah, Queen's gonna be pissed.
Are those helium balloons?
A day helium,
Oh.
No, I was waiting for the phone to stop talking.
day helium
I'm
balloons.
sorry. I'm sorry.
We need to stop.
Fucking
We're never
helium
gonna
balloon.
get anywhere this session.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe tell. Oh, wait. Does Roman share this?
He's
No one's
counting.
being busy. Give him a minute.
He's counting his words. So leave him be. Leave him be.
Let's count his
I
words.
need you to
before
shut the fuck up,
responding to the- Yeah, he's talking to the phone. Thank you for calling.
Let's just watch
But you
the
called
stages of
me!
suffering.
Stages of grief.
Except bargaining.
I'm bargaining. Don't worry, guys. Anger's really on its
Exceptions.
way quick. Anger's on its way quick.
Denial.
Despair. Despair.
Thank God, fuck.
You know
Okay,
something?
anyway.
I'm good with this.
Oh my fucking God! It was really just. Please call us back at 155. This, that, bah. The reference number is bah. Like, come on, just shut the fuck up.
What year is it?
Black sheep.
Have you any growth?
Just,
This is
just
the whole
put it
session.
under a
This is just
pillow.
a Roman observation session.
The very world's longest tangent.
Yeah, the
Oh
truth.
boy. Okay, once we get there and we have had a rest, what are we then doing?
Hypothetically, because we haven't told Rockfen where we're going yet.
Teleport.
Hypothetically, when we get there and we rest,
You can begin your discussions of plans.
then we only got one place we can go.
I don't think going to
In my mind.
I feel like going to the other giants is
It's
just
pointless.
it's gonna be unproductive and a waste of time.
Okay.
Well, remember that we still are technically on. My brain just went a countdown, but really it's an hourglass that we're running out of time to work out specifically this request that we've had for the murder mystery.
That's why I think Storm Giants might be the way to
Why we
go.
need to go to see the
Yeah,
Storm
just
Giant.
go straight to them.
Go straight to the source. And then if they don't, if there's not a thing there, they'll at least know probably where to send us.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we get somebody to just straight up try and scry on Mr. Storm King, because that's not something we've actually done.
I mean, I can do it right now.
I mean, do it while we're on the bird in transit. And
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
safe.
So someone can't pin on your ass where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fly and scry, children.
It's fine if someone else is holding
ever
them.
fly and scry. Could you live with the shame?
I ain't doing
Do
it.
you
I'm
think
driving.
that amulet of proof against detection would counter someone counter scrying me?
Yeah.
I don't know if that'd work.
It would work. Someone was trying to scry on you, they would just bounce off. You'd be
Yeah,
like,
if I tried to
yeah,
scry
they'd be like,
someone-
who doing this? Shit.
Yeah, so the counter scry wouldn't work effectively.
So we can do that.
That's why you
Mhm.
picked that up.
Roman, you're free now.
What?
What were you gonna say before the
Yeah,
phone
so-
incident?
Alright, yeah, so, first thing, basically the ringing was actually coming from Roman's head as his head vibrated. As a,
Which is the Mohawk wing.
Yes, hello. hello, you've reached the Noman residence. Yes, yep. Okay, Rockfin doesn't know where the inn is.
Head north of Goldenfield? Till you hit the
Okay.
road, I guess? I
Just
guess.
gonna shake
There is
the rod.
there is no
do it.
road from Golden Fields to Womford, or there's just a river.
They have a griffin.
The hippogriff they didn't bring
They didn't-
because
we
they
got
were
to
walking
have
Ah,
up
Yeah.
the
yes. So right.
So,
I
yeah,
am
shake-
a
shake-
fool.
shake the
I
rod
never
to get an
claimed
action.
to be intelligence.
Maybe just tell him that we succeeded and to go on and report without us because we have to do
Yeah,
a
we
big
move.
mission.
You're about to go
Yeah.
do something stupid.
We're gonna do something really foolish. Please don't tell my mother.
Your mother already knows.
Yes, of course
She
she
knows
does. But
all, anyway.
the attempt was made.
You think what we
Yeah.
just did was stupid? Here, hold my beer.
Who the hell drink?
Gonna shake the rod for another call. Like, okay.
Getting
Like a
credit back on your
switchboard.
phone.
Yeah, it's a switchboard. Just opens up a little click. Just okay. Yes, hello, Rockfan. I'm calling you back again. Go ahead and report on without us. The chiefess or whatever, the big hill giant lady. She's stuck in a hole. She should be fine.
Dango daddy hoy.
And we're gonna go do something stupid. Don't tell Gloria's mom. All right, bye now.
Roman, thank you. Thank you for attempting to cover my ass.
And unfortunately, that last little bit about Gloria's mom was over the 25-word limit. So,
Yeah. Be my luck.
Whoops. We can do something stupid. Static.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, coming under turbulence.
I'll let them know because I kind of have to because I don't know what to do now. Thanks. You let me halfway around the world, you assholes.
yeah, you go for it.
Right.
Rockford is now
So,
stood and going for something. Someone get me a taxi. Fuck.
He's got to get a lift back to Waterdeep and then teleport.
They
gotta
better fucking
fucking
pay
walk.
for this taxi.
He's gonna get the horse Betsy and ride it on. I
Right.
gotta ride Betsy.
So we're gonna go to
A place.
what the fuck was that? Either
There's an
Barge right or Womford or whatever.
Womford's closer.
Whichever we hit first.
An actual IRL place.
What,
Womford?
Womford? It sounds like somewhere that exists somewhere between me and university.
Somewhere
Yeah.
near me called Romford.
Somewhere
Not
in
Romford,
like
but
the north. Well, just before you get to the Midlands, probably.
somewhere near.
So, I will describe Womford as you arrive in. It is what you saw was a very large wooded fence around it all, like very picketed in kind of fortress. You realize that there are several like key support beams around it that are made of bone, and you see that it is in fact the very large rib cage of a dragon. On the point of this ford, you can now see that it's not. It's called Wormford, probably mispronounced as Wormford. The bridge that you can see is the beast's tail, which leads across the actual ford itself. There are small inns that you could go into here. It's a very you realize very quickly that there's a very thick accent down here. So it's called Womford. So you can now realize why the name gets its name.
Mm.
So-
It's like the Midlands.
Shut up!
What?
Speaking of Midlands, I suddenly got very, very big Nemesis from Alton Towers vibes as soon as you said the rib cage that goes over the blinking
Nice.
road.
Anyway, let's
There we go.
sleep because I need health.
Long rest,
You are as
Long rest, please.
you are welcomed into the inn as it's getting very dark, and it's literally people. You can see people are actually running in as it's getting late at night, in a very hasted pace, and you just jump into the nearest inn, which is called the Broken Bone, and called so because the actual the very large bar that's on the side of it looks like it's a broken femur that has been carved into the form of a bar. But you were brought into the middle of the night going, all right, well, you avoided there's a Womford bat there, so get on in.
Kirk, what did they just say?
I speak Midlander. After multiple does someone make an intelligence check? Oh, just getting slapped back.
Hey
Yeah.
up, be right all there, our kid. Yay?
After multiple times,
What are
you
you
understand
saying?
that after multiple attempts, you understand that they're referring to the Womford bat, which apparently is a creature nearby here that feeds on anyone who's left out at night.
I'm gonna go shoot something.
Definitely the
Crack
Midlands.
Oh, I got a new spell to try out.
Please let
Wait,
me
you guys
sleep.
actually gonna do what I think you're gonna do? You're gonna.
Let me
Me and
sleep.
Kiran are just like, oh, there's a thing to kill?
No.
we just sat on the roof
I
all
grab
night like a couple of
We're gonna
snipers,
smoke.
just like, there's one.
Okay.
Hey, technically, I could actually just sit there on the roof just watching. Like,
Okay. How many people are down to actually kill this thing? The reason I ask is because I need
I
a certain.
need sleep.
Okay, I'm gonna presume that there's at least 3 of you, because at level 11 with a level 14, the 3 of you are more than enough match for the Womford bat, which you then realize very quickly as it swoops down at one of you, turns into the form of a human, with very sharp fangs produced out to try and bite at one of you, until you all blast it with a combined bound of spells and send it in its misform back, as the vampire immediately regrets its fucking life choices. I'm not even rolling for a vampire encounter with you fuck.
No joke, guys. Crack. I still have a 6th level slot. Sunbeam.
The bat is like, eee! Ah!
Farewell.
Well,
We
that
knew
was
thee
fun.
briefly.
I'm gonna go to bed.
yeah, I'm gonna go read my book.
Congratulations, you put the Womford bat back in its fucking.
It
what's
just
this?
got sunbeamed. It's dead.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah. Straight
It's
up
dead.
You
Sunbeam.
literally
Well,
just
you don't have a
dealt
bat
with
to worry
this
about anymore.
monster. You've literally been dealing with this monster that's been playing this down for 100 years. Why just going? Boop.
That was fun.
God, high level is wild, guys.
I know,
I'm not
right?
even rolling. I'm like, there's enough of you. If any of you heard a combat, the rest of you would show up, and this guy would have to run, and no one can run from you fucks. It's like he would literally go, woo, shit.
Hey,
It's like-
I've got
it's like the-
sorcery.
it's like the ants
It's a
that
6th
jump-
level spell, and I've got sorcery points, so that thing
Yeah.
would be fucked.
Yeah, no, it's like that image of the ant jumping at the praying mantis. Meh! Ooh, food.
Do-do-do-do-do.
So
we don't have a
congratulations.
bat to worry about anymore. Walking back into the inn.
By the
Like,
way, the
Back
bat
in
was
10
not just
minutes
like
later.
the bat wasn't a massive bat. It was like it wasn't a small bat. It was a massive 15-foot winged thing that just swooped down, and there were people looking out as they watched, and you just went.
Literally just a giant beam.
Literally,
Like the bat signal.
Literally, the greatest thing in these people's lives they've ever seen is Kirok just waving out her hand, and this massive beam of pure radiant energy shredding out and hitting this thing, whilst the Eldritch blasts are being cast out, and anything else from anyone else that's around. It's just an onslaught of spells at this thing. It's just, and they watch as the bat is just disintegrated. That's it, gone. And then you just go, whoop, and just waddle back inside.
She's got
Like,
she's
alright,
got like
we're
a mice in one hand. And she's got a mouse in one hand, and she's just like, yeah, that was fun.
That
Yeah.
felt good.
Good, stretch your legs.
And by the way, I'm not joking. That's the thing. The
Yeah.
Womford bat is written into the lore of this thing as being this monster that's been plaguing them. There's even rules about trying to find it, but nope. Trying to find its coffin, but no, it will target someone, and it's easy as really bloodied adventurers out in the middle of the night, looks like
hey,
Casey Morsels.
oh, that sounds like somebody. Oh, hey, look, you're a king, Ori.
What just happened?
We killed a vampire, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna sleep. I'm tired.
Okay, so I'm not even gonna look at money because you literally killed the thing that's been plaguing them.
Also, I'm
Dude,
just gonna
we
stay
probably,
downstairs.
we probably won't even ask for anything. We're just gonna walk in and go, okay, that's dealt with. We're going to sleep. Bye.
Yeah, basically.
Anything for sleep.
Kill a vampire to get a night's rest.
Yeah, Curtis
Honestly,
walks,
I would at this point.
Curtis
I would
walks
kill
in.
for a good night's rest.
Curtis walks in and is like, he banged against my window. I was trying to sleep.
Me, I'm trying to sleep. Bwop!
Just opens the window and just closes it, turns the light off.
Anyone played Smite and know Ra's ultimate? So basically, on picture, just this bat bouncing off the window. The window opens, it gets ready to try and fly in. Just a bee comes out. It's like, that's it, done. Closes the window.
I'm just thinking of fucking Moira's coalescence.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the vampire's like,
Also, I'm going to just sit downstairs and read my book for my 8 hours.
Yeah, because you now can.
Yep.
So you've now picked the Insomniatic invocation. Carlos already has that IRL.
Look.
Like, can't sleep, must read.
Why did you have to call me out like that?
Must
In my
learn
own
more.
home. Do we get
Okay, I'm sorry, but my beautiful girlfriend just put this in our fucking.
Oh sure, blame the bat. What the heck? We're
Oh,
easy
sure,
targets.
blame the bat. What the heck? We're easy targets.
I mean, he was.
You can do a way better impression of him than I can.
Oh sure, blame the bat. What the heck? We're easy
That's
targets.
really good. Holy shit.
And then I and I kick her, sir.
Favorite character in that movie. Anyway,
So favorite is
Do
made
we
a very
get
bad spin-off of him.
long rest.
You get your long fucking rest because you killed
Hallelujah.
Because basically, any other minor villains or monsters in the world just saw you one-shot the vampire and go, yeah.
Let them rest. Let them sleep.
Let them sleep. Leave them the fuck alone.
He interrupted my nap.
And ahoy! And ahoy! And I kick her, sir. I just want to keep my fucking camera on this all night. Oh, God. Well done. Fuck me. Oh, God.
Not even had a
I
coffee.
need to recover. So you guys plot while you wake up and have breakfast on the house.
Okay, motherfuckers, what we doing?
Well, when we wake up, Kirok is just examining the conch shell, just how does it work? Dunk, dunk,
Do
dunk.
not give me that immediately.
Also,
Ah!
I would
Also,
guess
it's hilarious because you can't blow in it.
Confiscated.
Exactly.
You can't blow on it.
Also,
I can use a gust cantrip to blow on it.
Yes, Roman.
Podcast.
I guess I would be able to read that on the actual rune itself. It's basically a teleportation spell.
It's
right?
the rune of storm. Ooh, excuse me.
Wow.
After the identity. Sorry. That's what the conch does whenever you use it. Because the hill giant one, it's just a flagellant or a burp. It's just. But you, after reading the runes and identifying it and everything, you can look. Oh, it's teleportation. You can't tell to where, but you know it's of a specific point. It has the symbol of the thing on it. So, yeah, must be for storm.
Also, we've been told, I think, before what these things do.
Yeah, you were told.
Yeah. I was basically doing the thing of like reading it and making sure it's the correct thing.
Yeah, exactly, which is perfectly reasonable to do.
Check it. What's the plan, kids?
Oh dear God, I have to get these maps ready. Fuck. I did not. These maps are very far from where I currently am in regards to like the list of all these bastard and things. So I have to drag all these down now.
I'm on the fence if we just go. I say we just go.
I think that's probably the best way to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, we can get a lot of answers.
Yeah, I guess it's the best option.
Yeah, we just rested as well. If we get thrown into a fight, it's probably the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me get the maps because.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Carlos, you're aware of like how it is when you open up that tab and you've got to move a map. there is quite literally 30 maps I've got to go past.
Oh, see, I know exactly what you're talking about because I was running a Storm King.
Pain! I'm getting to that point in Okart. It's like... Right.
Guys are very useful, just saying.
Someone tell me how this conch thing works.
You have to put your hand in the hole bit and you move it and then blow here.
Is that how this works? I understand like how a conch works. I mean, I'm assuming it casts some kind of spell. And do I need to do anything to make sure I don't fuck that up?
We all need to be very close to each other. This is why I was examining it. We have to be very close to each other, and you can hold hands if you want. Doesn't make that much of a difference. I like
it makes me feel better.
Makes me feel better.
Please hold my hand. You do the teleport spell and you turn around.
I hold Kirok's hand.
Somewhere.
I've got the conch in one hand and Kirok in the other. Okay. All in favour of going now, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Maybe.
I'm trying to delay this as much as possible because something spiritually tells me that I need to just put this off for like another 5 minutes.
I have no idea what we're going to say, if anybody wants to rehearse.
No,
We heard something bad. I'm not going to do the talking, but like,
What do we say?
if we had something bad happen to the queen, and also that something, I don't know. This is why I don't talk.
Actually, before we go, can I switch my Staff of Fire out to you guys for the Ring of Mind Shielding?
I mean, you have to focus on it for a little while. I don't know if I've got time.
I mean, we can. 10 minutes won't kill us.
10 minutes will give us a chance to discuss what we're going to actually say.
Yeah, you guys can
to
discuss.
people.
Basically, when you guys are about to teleport, tell me if you're doing any changes, because you will have had the time there to do it.
Okay.
Ash, I presume you will attune to that shield?
Yes, that was what I was about to say. I presume that I'm attuning to that shield.
You're attuning to that shield.
Turning for the shield.
Attune to the shield. Attune to the shield. There's 3 fucking maps for this place, good Christ.
What?
Question.
It's a big place.
I've got a
Yes.
question. Do you know we've had that rune of the fire rune or something? Like, what's it called? Hold on. The opal of the Ild rune.
I thought
Oh,
we
yes.
did that.
We have that.
I don't remember who has it or where it went.
What is it?
I think that Durin had it and he used it in something.
Yeah, I think maybe Durin
You
put it
did?
in
Okay.
his weapon.
Yeah, I can't
Because that
remember.
was something that could have been done.
Yes, that was That is correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Also, question: has everyone, those that dinged last session, have
Which is
you
everyone.
rolled? Have you rolled your new HP and?
Oh shit!
I have
didn't do
Yeah.
HP.
not!
Holy shit, you just saved so many lives! I have
Yeah.
already done it, but all these
Yeah.
people haven't. These fools. These
I was
peasants.
Some
I was
hit
just
dice
scrolling
rolls.
back to make sure I hadn't, and I was like, well, I didn't roll HP, I apparently rolled 4 wild magic surges.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah,
it's
you had
the king
advantage.
also.
Yeah, that's why I'm at 117, not 103
yeah,
now.
I need to change the programming on wild magic to roll with advantage as well.
Okay, that's where it's from.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm also looking up what we were doing again. Hey, it's a typical blue HP roll.
Yay! 7
The
more.
stream is getting what normally happens behind the scenes.
Yeah,
It's
well.
shitty HP rolls.
Hey, guess what, guys? I'm level 14 and I got 70 HP!
Are you kidding me? You're how many levels higher than me?
I've got less
3.
HP than Delmara! I'm 4
I'm-
levels
Why
higher!
do you never choose the average?
Because it's D&D and you're supposed to roll dice!
I have
I swear to God, I
104.
want to give you the fucking lucky feat for that. Just a roll on your hit dice. You can just re-roll that once.
No, I always commit with each character. If I take the average, I always take the average, which is what I do with Delmara, and if I roll, I always roll, which is what I do with Kirok, and they're both bad!
And then you tell her who's got decent health.
Because she has the tough thing.
I've
thank
broken
God.
100.
Blue has
You've broken
rolled.
100 health.
Hey! Welcome
Yeah,
to the club.
104.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
How much health does the wonderful Ash have?
More than me, probably.
Not really, actually.
Imagine
How
my
much health
agony
do you
when
have,
I'm
Ash?
actually playing a tank class, playing my
89.
paladin who's meant to be the
You've only got
monster group, and I'm
89
just like-
health?
89.
She's never had very good health rolls.
What is this? I am the buffest.
Bearing in mind I'm a hill dwarf as well, and I'm supposed to get 1 extra HP for every
You
level.
still haven't
up.
taken the tough feat, have you?
Ew.
That could change everything
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah,
I
Yeah. Well,
have it.
I haven't checked
Haven't?
the dwarf. I haven't checked the dwarf feats yet in Xanathos.
Carl, did you just say you hadn't?
I have it.
Oh, I thought you said you hadn't and you had that much health. I was like, what?
I haven't. I haven't.
I know, because she would give me a heart attack like she's about to fucking grog me. She's like, suddenly, brrr. Have you ever been grogged before? Well,
Team buff
Can-
mum.
yeah, basically.
Team buff mum. Buff.
Buff
English.
Mom.
Uh,
I get, honey. Small words.
also, Das, since I'm attuned to the ring, do I hear anything?
From the ring of mind shielding.
Yeah.
Once you're attuned to that ring, you don't hear anything.
Okay, cool.
You putting the staff in the bag.
Yes.
Just so I know to write it down, that's all.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm moving you guys
so
onto these maps for the
while-
sake of it, for myself.
and ask
While-
Also, I'm going to just do something
these
now that
guys-
annoys me. I'm going to move Roman
While these
down.
guys suddenly gain vitality. What are we saying? If we, assuming we don't just enter a desolate court with no one in it.
we say hello.
I mean, that's a good start.
How are you?
We explain while we're there. We tell them that we're there to
Give
help.
me specifics, please, for my own sanity.
We be civil, and we tell them straight what's happening.
so we
They
tell.
know what's happening.
So we know that the queen was killed. We know.
Should we say that we're investigating the Queen's death? I think that might put us
No,
on their side.
We're investigate. We're not investigating the Queen. We're investigating Hecaton's disappearance.
But Hecaton left because the Queen died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
He
then
went-
find it.
he
to
went
try and find out what
Investigating the
happened, yeah.
Queen's death.
Yeah.
So,
So-
we say we're
Find it.
also
I'll
investigating.
explain
Yeah.
because I know Curls has the notes, just not with her.
I do have them with
Um,
me.
Oh, you do?
It's Oakart. She
I've
doesn't
just
have.
checked them. OCART I don't have. SKT
Okay.
I always have. I have that with
to
me if I go
explain-
outside.
To explain, you are aware that it was the queen that was first killed. She was killed, and then Hecaton went to investigate, after which point he disappeared.
Oh, okay. So
Presumed
Hecaton
dead.
disappeared on the investigation. Okay, yeah. So
But
if
he
we,
went out without a guard. He just went.
he
and
just
was like,
left,
"Fuck it,
yeah,
I'm
in
going."
like a rage, essentially.
I don't think so.
I imagine.
Ideally,
Big
we
angry
need to find
dad.
him.
So if we say, we're looking for him, then maybe that will lead us to the Queen investigation anyway.
Do we just
Assuming that we find someone.
Finding who kills the queen is not going to change things. It's getting Hector.
No, but it
we
is
kind,
what
we kind of
the
feel
Stone
like
Giants-
we kind of feel like we know who already did it. It's just explaining that to them, which is not going to be easy because we're implicating
But then,
one of them.
do we know?
We can assume
We
that
make
she's involved.
a solid guess. Yeah.
But then, why was she at the Eye of the Allfather every day or every week or what was it? Whatever it was.
Because she's trying to stir the divinities. We knew this specifically because of this devourer.
She's trying to stir the giant pot.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Which is why, if she is involved, making Hector disappear.
This is the whole thing
Right, all of
with this is the whole thing with the murder of the Queen. Is that has been done specifically to try and trigger some sort of political upheaval within the Storm Giants, because of course Hecaton is the main royalty within that society.
It's not the
As soon
Storm
as-
Giants they were trying to upset, it was all the other ones.
It was all giants,
The
but
Storm
getting
Giants
rid
are
of,
the ones that are
but
being
getting rid of
reasonable,
the
it's the
Storm
others that
King.
are being shit.
Yes, but it was but
that.
Hecaton is a Storm Giant.
Yeah, but they all listen to him because he's like the king of all the giants, and because he's gone, all the other giants are going, yay!
Yeah. Which is why we need to get him back.
Yeah,
Which is,
but
I think that's what we say.
so we know for a fact that if whoever has murdered the Queen has done this specifically to trigger this basically
Yeah,
loss
it's
of
chain of effect.
Hecaton.
And also,
100%.
they blamed it on the small folk, didn't they? They said it was small folk from Waterdeep.
Which
Yes,
is why they're,
so
they're
it-
From
it is-
not from Waterdeep. From actually no, they did say from Waterdeep. You're right. I almost said things.
Yay!
Damn it!
I nearly
Okay.
drew plot out of Das.
I think we can
nah.
go there.
This is the one campaign I've been good with my plots on.
So we just go there, explain we're there to help find Hecaton, and go from there. That's the best
Yes.
bet.
That's right.
To
And I'm
explain
not
as
gonna
well,
open
just
my
something
mouth.
something I want to ask you guys on. Where's your proof of any of it?
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. I was like, we're,
Yeah,
gonna
well,
go,
this
we're
is-
gonna go in here and say a lot of things that we don't really have anything to back up.
We
This
shouldn't bring
is
any of
why
it
I
up.
said we are being civil and trying to explain what we know, what we presume that we know, and what we know has actually happened, because we've got several different reports from several different conflicting parties here.
I mean,
Okay.
currently from their point of view, we're the bad guys because they think little people did this. So we could just turn up and immediately get either killed or thrown in prison, and then that nothing matters because they won't listen to us because in their minds we're already guilty.
Yeah.
And because we have no proof, that doesn't help either.
Exactly
I mean-
why I keep mentioning being civil about it,
I
because
don't think that's going to make a difference.
Civil or not, we're like, it's not gonna. If we've got nothing to prove to them, what we're saying, then
I mean,
it's not
this
gonna
is the thing though. What kind of proof could we get?
I don't
Well,
know.
what are we trying? Are we trying to prove that Imrif's involved, or are we just trying to prove that we're there to help?
well, we don't
How do-
know
yeah.
specifically what they have encountered throughout this entire battle themselves, because if there are shared nuggets of information, we can say, for example, if they know that certain events have happened. For example, a lot of the attacks on name of village hill giant ambush
Tribal.
thing.
Tribal?
Broodhog that was like doing its rampaging around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
just-
Good
They
how
know-
Golden
if they
Field
know-
take pick.
yeah. So if they know specifically of those things,
I'm sure they know.
then
Yay, Nemo.
Nemo, you're just quietly here. They're all just discussing about the idea of going into the storm,
We're
the
discussing
maelstrom,
what the
basically.
hell we're going to say.
They decided to go. They're just trying to figure out what to say.
Well, I personally think we don't mention Imrith until we have evidence.
Because
I think we just go, be open. We're there to help
Yeah, I think we should
Hecaton and his wife.
specify as well that our goal is to return Hecaton to the throne.
Yeah.
Because helping is kind of vague, whereas being like,
we're there to help reinstate the ordering. Do that. We need Hecaton back on the throne.
Varys,
That's what we're there
did
for.
you try scrying on him because that was the thing that got mentioned?
Yeah.
Don't know if that's. I mean, I can try.
I mean, it might give us a little bit of help because I don't know. It might give us some information, at least.
Sure. I will try on Hecaton.
That
Okay.
said, our history with scrying hasn't been the greatest.
Make a Arcana check.
out of character Varys has a thing, but we don't know that.
You focus and you attempt to scry on King Hecaton, this individual that you've never met, but you've heard of and you've heard a great tale of. You've not seen anything of his, and you don't have anything of his to focus on. But in this moment, you attempt to scry, and you're using every trick you have. Your beads of sweat drip down your forehead in your concentration, and you just keep focusing until you just hit a barrier that just denies you. It seems like there is something blocking divination upon Hecaton.
Figure as much.
What have you seen, Varys?
Not a lot. Something or someone blocking me.
That's
No,
bad.
that says a lot.
It does indeed. Out of character deaths, we know that it's his son?
Daughter. Youngest daughter.
Youngest daughter that's currently on the throne of the Storm Giants.
You know that he has 3 and it is youngest on the throne.
Okay, do we know any of their names? Because I can't find it in my notes right now. I can't remember if we know this.
Someone must have told us at some
I
point.
think
I
the
do believe Farron did give names, so just give me a moment to actually.
I will check Farron's notes because I haven't checked those yet. I'm
Yes,
working
'cause
between two books.
I remember you mentioning the name of, I'm just going to say it, the Storm
King-
Queen.
Yeah.
The
The king is in exile, left after only a day. Youngest daughter took the throne. I do not have her name written down.
Okay. I would have presumed that he had done it. Now, the name of the queen was Queen Neri. I did put down her name.
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was the one that was
Yes, I have that.
Now, I'm going to give the names based on age, because I think it would have been a case that you've been told this. So,
Yeah, I feel like we have been told at some point. I just can't find it.
So, from oldest to youngest, Miran,
Oh,
Nim,
no.
Sarisa.
I'm just taking a guess.
Youngest to
not even
oldest to youngest, excuse me.
Not even close.
Great, goobly.
Sometimes I'm close, sometimes it's spelled like that. Okay. So they're in charge. They're the good folk.
Sarisa.
Sarisa is the one
Sarisa is currently in charge.
I will put a star next to her name.
Little crown over her name.
Very important.
VIP must protect. Want to see grow healthy and happy. Probably
people
needs a nap.
protect us.
Yeah.
Probably needs a nap. Okay, now I have to get you fuckers. Alright. So, you've decided on what you want to say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ish.
I mean, to a certain extent, we're gonna have to wing it to a certain extent. And by we, I mean absolutely not me.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's the
We
thing.
can-
Designated talker, perhaps.
Yes.
I mean,
There
I'm
isn't.
good with
There
persuasion.
isn't-
goes to
isn't
mush in
zero.
front of royalty anyway.
Sorry?
There isn't
I get a
zero.
mush in front of I get a mush in front of royalty anyway. So
I mean, I'm pretty good with both persuasion and deception, so
I mean, we don't want to deceive them.
they won't know I'm lying.
No,
Now, 'cause of my new
White
rating.
lies.
No, that's the point. We don't want to deceive them.
Well, yes, I had it.
Honesty is the
You're
best
right.
policy.
Yeah, I plan to be completely honest.
Okay, Roman is designated talker.
Everyone else, shut the fuck up.
Okay. Before we go,
Could somebody write a script down for me? That way I don't fuck up.
before before we go, we know
What you say is we're the dragon inspectors, and we're come here to deal with your dragon problem.
See, we're already lying at that
really
point.
we don't
No.
mention the dragon
No.
at all. At this
Just
point.
be honest.
But as I was trying to say before we go, we know that this place is underwater, right?
Yes.
We know it's not working. There's 5 potions of water breathing in a bag of holding. You should all take one.
I mean, I can fix that now if we want to, but we have to do it before we go.
It's fine.
Varus, make an intelligence check.
Oh god. Okay.
We've never encountered a storm giant either, so we don't even
Oh,
know
that's
if
the same.
they
It's the same.
breathe oxygen.
It's
No,
the
it's not the
same.
same. It's minus not. No, it's not the same. I lied completely. It's -5 to that. Minus
Okay.
4 to that. Sorry.
So you think for a moment, Varus, and think hill giants and fire giants and stone giants and those things don't have any means of breathing underwater. So one presumes that there's an area you get taken to where you might not need to drown.
Oh, I assume that. Yeah. It's more of a just
I
in
was
case
about
things go bad.
to-
It's
This
more
is the
of a-
DM
Might
giving a
not
slight
need
nudge.
to
Yeah.
drown.
Well, it's
DM giving a
I-
slight
It's more
nudge.
of
I know that.
one of those just-in-case things, because the actual
Yeah.
spell water breathing says at the end, affected creatures retain their normal mode, so we can still breathe air. We're not going to suffocate if there's no water.
Oh no, I'm just saying this in case resources get wasted.
I could cast water breathing as a ritual.
I think just take if everyone takes a potion, then we should be fine.
We could take
Like,
it for
cold-
emergencies,
If we're
but I can prep
visiting-
it now, and then we're good for a whole day. Don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
but
it.
what if we don't need it? You.
I also wouldn't worry
It's
about
free. I
me.
can only
'cause-
ritual
If we're
cast it, no spell slot.
if we're visiting a palace, more than likely you're going to be talking about a moat and drawbridge situation. So there is probably going to be some sort of route going down towards the palace that doesn't necessarily equate to being underwater. My guess is more like I'm going to make a really obscure reference. There's a scene in the Disney version of Atlantis where they talk about it being a sinkhole or something. There's a tunnel and then it's an air pocket. And that's where my brain is going.
But
at
I
the
mean,
moment.
Kirak has a point. If it doesn't cost Kirak anything to do it, and there's a possibility we could end up in a water situation, it's worth doing it real
Yeah.
quick
I'll
before we
say,
go.
If
I'll
it's
say at
next to
this
them in
point,
the
if she can
ocean.
do it as a ritual, just let her do it as a ritual. Everyone can now breathe underwater for 8 hours. Done.
Yeah.
It's
You
more
can
of a
still
just-
breathe air, so don't panic.
Sorry, because I'm late. Did we take a long rest?
Yes.
Yeah, if you took
We
a
did.
long rest, roll your hit dice for your level up. And if you haven't chosen
If you
spells
did.
yet, choose them now.
Already done all that, but thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
That's
so
fine.
you cast water breathing. Roman's your talker. You have an
I
idea
give
of
the
what you want
conch to someone who knows how to use it.
Anything else anybody wants to prep? Because I think I've got one I want to prep.
I'm going to.
Yeah, I'd like to ask who amongst us actually knows how to use the conch before we just decide that somebody does.
It could be either Varus or Roman, as I think both of them, or at least one of them, identified.
Constant Death Ward.
I'm
What's that?
casting comprehend languages.
Doing which? Oh, comprehend. Smart, very smart.
Yeah. And here's water breathing in case anyone wants to read it, but it's literally just you can breathe water now.
Bop, bop, bop.
Okay, so you can understand it, but you cannot speak it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't need to speak it. I'm not the designated speaker.
No, but you can definitely understand what you hear in any language you hear.
But my brain
Fucking
went
smile.
don't try and scry again. But no, I thought, hang on, there's something
Someone-
here.
So,
Something there that wasn't there before.
so, would you guys like to use the conch of teleportation?
I hold it out, waiting for either Roman or Varys to take it from me.
So I think that'd be a good starting sentence. I think
Well, let's see what
maybe. Let me know what you guys think.
My name is Inigo Montoya. This is my
Father
pleasure to die.
Well,
I think that's
first of all, we said honesty is the best policy. Therefore, you should be calling us the Moon Pigs, not the Defenders of Faith.
You're
Technically,
not the
our
designated speaker, so shush.
Exactly.
Someone blow this damn conch before we lose our minds.
I grab it.
I take
Okay.
Rory's hand.
He grabs the conch. And it just echoes out, and everything around you begins shaking. It's just a mist forms out of it, to the ground around you, but stops about 10 feet and just billows upward. And I get to move you to the maelstrom.
Also, I'm pretty sure the innkeeper.
Wait, we're
Hey,
in
what the fuck
Azeroth?
is that?
Also, real quick, I'm pretty sure the innkeeper just went like, "What the fuck?"
I'm assuming we left the room.
I thought you did that somewhere else, but
Oh, okay.
We probably did it
So,
somewhere private.
allow me to describe, if I may. What you realize is that a lot
It's
of
a
the
shiny
area around
thing.
you appear on a sigil. That is the sigil of the storm, which is also on the conch. And you now see that the area around you is thankfully air-filled, but there's this almost glass dome, but it isn't glass, it's as if there's just a barrier of energy, and there's just ripples of it as water is around you, above you. And then there's just this very deep sea formation of rock behind you and around you. The room you're in, there is currently no one else. But what you do see is that the ceilings of this fortress go up to about 50 foot high. And just make sure I'm getting everything. Yeah. And also, there are no torches in here. But this constant just blue algae and just little bioluminescent things all down around the walls that just light it up. It's
Luminescence.
beautiful. And as it is this beautiful, you do hear something as well as you arrive in. You hear a powerful female voice, accompanied by deep, haunting tones of a masterfully played pipe organ that seem to be originating from the staircase. So, somewhere up that staircase. There doesn't seem to be anyone here, or anyone present.
Before we move on, I'm going to use my ability to cause my ring mind shielding go invisible.
So you can hide the ring. So
Yeah.
no one can see that the ring is there. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Just in
right.
case.
Fair enough.
And then I'll head up the staircase.
Okay.
I'm going to follow your lead for the most part of this, guys, but I will ask, can somebody who speaks giant announce our presence so we're not just walking in like, hey?
I was about to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Zero.
There's currently nobody here,
Speaker.
but I'm now going to move
Yeah,
you to the
usually you yell out
maelstrom.
and say hello.
Shut up!
Boom.
There's no one here to address. So at this point, I'm going to move you to the next layer of the maelstrom as you go from that staircase. You see currently a court, a group of people, a group of giants of varying types. The music fills this hall when you first arrive. There is 2 different levels to this room, with a 15-foot high raised ledge hugging the wall on the north and eastern side, with a great, almost purple or pinkish material, like a gem or glass that's been spread out, and you can see massive creatures of the deep just swimming past. Whales or other individuals every now and again do pass by. You can tell that you are actually on the bottom of the ocean. There is no depth beyond this. You are at the base. Inside, you see many giant figures, but the first thing that catch your eye are the 2 music players. So I will just pop that back up there for a moment, folks, because I did not have that looping. So please, just a moment as I find it. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Okay. As you are down here, you see that the voice was emerging from the giant that is the closest to you. This giant is a storm giant. Her hair is long and waved back, and she has a shell almost in the way of a fantastical hat across the side. This giant is beautiful, elegant, carrying herself with confidence as she's just singing out this chorus that the other giants in the room seem to just be listening to quite contently, as if waiting. So I'm just going to It's like, oops, sorry, she's not here. She is under. Where is she under? Why is she here, motherfucker? Just a moment, folks. Ah, thank you. There's a section here for it. So, here you go. That's what she looks like. And the next thing that you see is this massive crab that is currently got these multiple protrusions from it, like the barnacles and such have grown on it. And you watch as, at points, this other giant, this very calm, stoic-looking figure, is beating to the drum, and as she does, you watch as jettisons of air shoot out from holes atop this creature into the sounds that you were hearing, the chimes and the bellows from before. And this is this individual. But that's not the only. Those are the first two. But then you see a face you actually recognize. Amongst the giants assorted here, you see one giant, the stone giant, a smaller figure than most in robes, with a massive case to his side. You do in fact see Torin, who, as you arrive down and land in, you watch as the two storm giants here, who are in this immaculate plate of almost this silver, but to think of silver as if it was a hard metal. It's almost like the mix of adamantite with the silver inlux. And they both, with these massive tridents, seeing strangers in the court, immediately dash up into position. This one here in a single bound, leaping to there between you and Miran, while the other one steps up to here and is observing you as you enter. Not aggressive, but they look to you with the tridents, and one bellows out in a common that you do comprehend, an intelligible voice, which is something that you've not really had to deal with much with giants. State your business here, Smallkin.
I put a fist to my shoulder. Greetings. We are the defenders of Faerun. We've come here in search of answers and to also see if we can help within finding Hecaton and bringing him back to where he belongs, and possibly even finding who killed the queen.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
As this is happening, I immediately step back and kneel, and just simply bow my head and.
Oh, if there was a time to crit, it's now!
I'm going to say you spoke that in giant, so that every
definitely.
Because he did speak in common, but you did see the other ones look in curiosity to him, and you spoke this in giant.
Oh.
The others around. Bravo.
Well done. Well done.
The two. Funnily enough, they don't have the rules for what happened in this case.
There's no
We
rules
broke the
for you
game!
succeed.
No, there's no rules for you succeeding well. So, the two storm giants look to you, and the one that is further away begins moving down towards this entranceway that you'll see here. And it is a long corridor that you see has two hill giants at the end of that are in this like heavy chain armor. It's like rotund over themselves with clubs, and just standing by the side of the door. This giant looks, and in a moment of, oh yes, it goes, just a moment then, Smallkin. And as he's moving, Mirren stops singing, and she waves her hand to her younger sister. Whilst definitely adamant and seemingly very pure claim, why should we believe anything that you say, Smallkin? You puny creatures that always come to us when you need, but never when we need. There is no doubt no one here that could speak to your claim of your worthiness to aid our people.
Actually, if I may, we have two here that have actually seen what we've done and actually would be able to prove.
It's only the sun. Very notably, only the sun.
Oh, Cinder's not here?
No.
No.
That's not
Oh,
Cinder
the
Hulk.
icon is the same. That's
No,
why.
it's not.
Oh,
Funnily
that's
enough,
why-
it does look a lot like Cinder. If you added maybe 500 years.
okay.
The
Okay.
Duchess.
Casually goes towards the back of the group.
Too late.
Don't go to the back. I'm hiding behind you.
No worries.
I-
I'm just clarifying because it was clearly not stated, and you
Yeah.
said it. Sorry, my bad. But it is just Toron, so it is just the one.
There is one here who has, who we've talked to before and have shown our worth to him. Toron. We've met him before.
She looks down with, not even moving her head like from where she was. She only just side glanced to you before side glancing to him. She was stared out looking towards the whole crowd, but only just her eye moved to you without really giving you a full address before looking to him with only a slight head tilt. Child, and she's saying this all in Giant, by the way. You know these people, these Cretans, and the only way to describe it is pretty much, it's like the animal that Alfie's is based on, just like that little thing with just like its hands forward,
Oh.
just like holding his
A
books.
pangolin.
Yes, it's basically like a pangolin with its hands pulled it out in front of it. It just steps forward very sheepishly and begins speaking in Giant. And they had an interest before, where they could have caused bloodshed, they chose not to, and instead chose to try to help with my father and myself. They swore to my father, Faron, that they would try to find information about these terrible things that have happened to us, and wish to try to learn more to aid our people. If my word is worth anything, for the Thane of Deadcliff I may speak, that they are here on our interest. And while Miran was doing this, the Storm Giant was still progressing, and he bellows out from this position towards the two, and the door opens up. And as it does, you hear like almost like a thunderstorm as he just like roars out, and you hear, "Imperator Uthor! There are those who wish counsel with the Queen." And after maybe 2, maybe 3 minutes, the largest storm giant you've ever seen. Massive, almost, if not rivaling Harshnag and Zalto, he's quite close, steps forward past the hill giants. They look like orcs would look to an ogre. While broad, while strong, he is titanic over them. And he steps forward, giving the giant a nod, who moves to the side and kneels. And he is wearing this beautiful, immaculate, almost like, with definitely a lot of sea design on it, armor, with these very thin but fine shoulder plates that come to the side and to the side there. And he's actually wearing a great chainmail and a link all around, but wherever the links are, you can notice there is a vine. There's not vines, of seaweed wrapped around on the interiors of them, almost like they're the chains that are linking the armor together. And as he's moving, you notice most times with warriors that they have difficulty moving. Their armor will always encumber them. He moves like a fluid, and he is wielding a massive trident that just by his footfalls, you can just see lightning crackling across it. As just leaves it up and points. And in common, "I heard the speak of the young one. I heard the tale and the knowledge of the smallest one. You intrigue me. Miran Nim, to your quarters for now. Children, you may come, but know this: one false move, and there will be nothing left to return to the surface."
I bow my head. Thank you, sir.
As he says that, his eyes just crackle with this lightning. And he does, what you notice as well, he is wearing a crown. But I want a history check from Roman and Varys, please.
Okay, yeah. Is it a magical item?
No, this is based on something else.
Damn it.
It's quite good. Not as good. Varys, you're aware that a lot of royalties do wear crowns, but what you notice is a lot of times people of lesser nobility or quite close to that tier also wear, like, say, a secondary crown. He clearly is of a very high station, especially because he just dismissed the 2 daughters, which you are aware are Hecaton's daughters, to their rooms. And his aging features indicate that he's definitely the oldest individual in this courtroom right now. And by his just stature alone, and what you notice as well is, like, say, as he moves, you can just see, like, say, links across his armor. You can see massive scars at his neck. And you actually do see, like, as he moves, you can see under his beard, you do see, like, a scar that you now see is not just, like, a feature of wrinkles, but a massive scar that goes across the side of his face and up, as if something tried to claw at him. So he looks like a very grizzled individual.
A question, honey.
Yes.
Would you say that this individual is almost like a regent to the queen, someone who acts?
That would be
in
a
their
very
stead?
good way to describe him, yes.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm imagining.
So, he motions for you to follow. Do you move?
Oh, yeah, we follow.
Yeah, we follow
Start
you.
moving.
We're all
Start
waiting on
moving
We ain't saying no to this guy.
I follow, but keep myself incredibly low and keep my nose clean.
I'm
Yeah.
behind Glory
Yep.
at all times.
I'm avoiding
Except-
the gaze of this fire giant duchess as much as I
I-
She is looking at you and, like, almost as if I didn't recognize this one.
We don't know.
To
She's familiar.
paraphrase a famous song, I am a dwarf in Giant York.
Kirok,
Yeah, I'm always
want-
behind Glory, but from the perspective of the cloud giant, so as she goes around the room, she, like, rotates around the
I want you to
cloud.
make I want you to make an intelligence check while you're there.
Intelligence check.
With advantage.
Oof.
So roll again. Excuse us.
Ah, no!
There's this, like, cut off screen. If you've ever seen one, this is the closest thing to a male version of Countess Hansura you've ever seen.
Oh, God.
You begin realizing that this may very well be her brother.
Oh, God. I wish I
Flew
could-
flew to a town and then plotted.
Okay.
That was quick.
Kirok's grip is very, very tight, considering how little strength she normally has.
Enough that Glory can actually register it. Wow.
Basically, yeah.
I will probably say as well, Glory, you would notice that even though you know Ashka and that she's pretty much very, very stoic and quiet and only speaks when she needs to, but she's quite visibly shaken in this situation and is just basically just trying to keep up.
Okay.
At that point as well, you see Torin move back to his position as if waiting, and the Imperator looks to him. And speaks in Giant, so Roman, you understand this, and I do believe Varys does as well. But
And Kirok, technically,
Child.
which can't speak.
you vouched for them. Come.
Sorry, Torin.
You are being trusted in this account as well.
Hi.
He just, like, does a little wave to you as he's just, like, sat next to you, and the Imperator waits for you all to move in ahead of him. So I'm just going to move you guys for the sake of it to here.
We're
What
pretty
you
much
also notice
completely
as well
going.
is, what you also notice is the other Storm Giant, now that was there, also follows.
I will be right back, super quick.
After. Okay. I'll just be the descriptions of the room. Okay, Scott. So, I will describe the room. before showing it, obviously. This room looks more like an amphitheater. Stone bleachers overlook an oblong chamber with a 50-foot deep pool of seawater near its center. In the middle of the bleachers is an archway with 2 doors in it. These are the 2 doors that the hill giants open once the Imperator proceeds forward and you follow through. Facing the pool and the doors are 3 enormous thrones, massive beyond comparison. Let's see, I'm just going to make sure if there's anything else there. Okay. These 2 thrones, the 2 thrones to the sides, are beautiful, eloquently crafted from gold, mithril, and with a very deep blue dye into its cloth. The middle one is the one that catches all of your attention immediately for what it is made of. And you look in almost horror as you see that it is forged from it's forged from many bones, many dozens of bones. But what serves as the legs of it are the skulls of 4 massive blue dragons. Behold the worm skull throne. Sat upon it.
Oh shit.
I want you.
All around me are familiar faces.
Sat upon it is a young, obviously.
Okay, I'm back.
You can tell, having compared to the previous, you can see that this is a very young giant upon it. Her hair is a deep gray that is into this woven into a braid all the way down and just like hangs over the shoulder. She's got this beautiful swept cloth to herself, and she's wearing cloth and very light chainmail underneath. She looks tired. She looks fatigued, but the moment he returns, she perks up, looking towards him and towards yourselves. It's the person sat next to her that immediately gives you all pause. As sat next to her, in the same form that originally presented itself to you, you see Imrith.
Does she have a sword?
She has a sword to her hilt.
Cool.
The sword is not vibrating.
Well, I recognize the sword.
You recognize the sword.
Okay.
You recognize it just from the hilt.
Yeah.
So I'll move you all to there.
Fuck.
Be
At this
calm.
point, the doors behind you close, and while the storm giant remains where he is, the Imperator moves right next to Saritha, who looks down towards all of you. And in a similar vein to way Sildar would sit, in fact, with a weapon to hand, with the head of it against the ground, you see a weapon that looks like it was forged from the remains of a ship, with a heavy mast and the actual bulk of the ship being used in its construction of a massive maul. You see that she's holding shipwreck. She looks to all of you. Tell me, you come far, and she does speak this in very eloquent common, clearly someone who's been taught. You come far from your realm. The Imperator spoke to me as his ears travel these halls far easier than anything I have. That you have an interest in aiding my mother, finding who killed her, and who killed my father.
Yes, Your Majesty. We seek to help you, and in hopes bring an end to the war of which we have been facing.
Well, I am quite relieved that the Smallkin have returned to aid in this. My father was under the presumption that it was one of your kin that slew my mother. And to the knowledge of our council, my father has also fallen. We fall upon a dark time, all our kin. For without my father's wrath and sheer respect of the ordering, the Duke and the Thane and the Jarl have sought to wreak havoc. It is an upsetting time. But what to you? And she looks down towards the giant. What is your name, my young friend? And he's the moment he was like stopped in position, he just kneels down deep. Torin, your majesty. And you do realize as well he has, and you can now see it in the bag, as like the bag has an open top. You do see he has a conch himself. But how did he get it? Perhaps the little shit stole it.
Boy after our own heart.
My father and I were sent to try and cause harm, but we do not want to do this. We were... And he's looking now, and there is a death glare from Imrit straight at him. We were sent around by Council of the Thane to aid in the demolition of the Lesserkin, to stop their rule over... Also, I'll do this because I did not actually show her to you, and she's got quite a beautiful model.
She is gorgeous. I kept glaring at that nail for quite a while. Gorgeous.
We believe that your mother was removed from position by a foul deed of someone else, not the small kid. My father believes that someone else may have had a hand in it, whom he has not yet discerned, but he is trying to investigate as best he can. But he does not believe that the small kid had the capacity by themselves or the intent to rob this world of her late majesty. And he has a very, very deep, low head, as he's doing his best not to stammer as badly as he can, as he's... looks like he's quite terrified.
I love him.
Oh, little baby.
If I was standing on the right side, I would pat him, but I'm not standing on the right side, and I'm not moving now.
It's my boy.
I'm not moving full
I'm in
stop.
death glare range of Imrith. I can't
I'm
move
not
from this
moving
position.
full stop.
I have to glare.
Sarisa looks towards nods towards him. And what of you, Smallkin? I am curious what brings you to our halls in these trying times. And as she's speaking, she doesn't actually have her hands on the hammer. She's just got a hand over her knee and a hand to her face, just intently looking to all of you with a great curiosity. As you do see in her other hand, but around from her neck, you do see that there is a scepter. A beautifully ornately crafted scepter is hanging from a neck piece around her neck and down around across the chest and the breast. There is no image for it, but it is just a massive, beautifully dwarven crafted scepter. It is a tapered mithril rod, and as long as a dwarf's forearm, with a platinum knob at the bottom and a rounded disc adorned with several tiny gems to the top. Basically, a beautifully crafted tool, but it seemed to be used as a sign of regency. And
Question.
yes,
As a dwarf, would I be able to roll a history check to see if I could recognize it?
I'll say with disadvantage, just because of how old this particular item is.
Would I be able to assist?
I'd say you can. I'd say assisting implies you're both working together and discussing. So I'd say you can both make a check, but both of you at disadvantage.
So it'd be a normal roll for me since of
Normal
my
roll for
artificer
you,
lore.
yeah. Sorry, honey. And that was a good roll. That was actually a natural 20 on the other one. I'm sorry.
No props.
Straight roll, Roman. Unfortunately not, no. It just looks like you can tell it's dwarven made. Very old craft and beautiful. But she seems to be awaiting your discussion quite patiently.
Well, Your Majesty, we have been to the hall of the the hall of the Allfather, and have talked to Aragon Ron. I'm pronouncing that wrong.
I know who you're referring to. Don't worry. Me out of character, I know who you're referring to, and she may as well.
And we were in our questioning with him of all of the giants and ways in which for us to find ways to make peace with you. We found that the best way to make peace with both our kin and yours is to not only find who killed your mother, but as well as you speak now, who killed your father.
Make a persuasion check.
I want you to know that mentally I'm cheering you on so much, like out of character. I'm like, you can do it.
No, you need to have tiny little banners.
I'm gonna say you can get this with advantage from. I'm gonna say you can do this from advantage with the setup from Torin.
God, Turin's doing so much work for us.
Little
Love
baby.
him. Now there's a boy I can get
Fucking
behind.
mattered. Yes, you could, because he's massive. As you're speaking, she seems to be taking an interest, and you see Imrit just stirring in her seat, just irritatedly looking between you and her. My dearest child, why can you ever listen to these people? For all we know, they could have been the ones who murdered your mother and abducted your father. And she just pulls back into her seat, frustratingly looking.
That's gonna make an insight check on the
Yes,
queen.
you can, because you're not the only people in the courtroom currently making it.
Hey!
I'm gonna say something in giant. I'll be like, well, for all you know,
Don't.
he could be the one.
Don't.
You guys don't know what he's saying!
I do.
For all you
I'm
know.
elbowing him.
Your advisor there could be the one that removed your mother and father from power.
Make a persuasion check. Actually, no, make a straight charisma check, because this is neither you lying to them nor that. Just make a straight check.
No,
But what you're
please
watching...
Make an insinuation check.
But what you're looking at is, when she said this and she pulled back to her seat, she didn't make eye contact back with Sarisa, who leaned forward and is looking towards her with a very squinted look in that moment.
I'm gonna use luck. No, I'll take the 10.
Forgive me, Imrith, but last I checked, you informed me that my father was dead. And now you just said you believe him to be abducted. Which is it?
My bitch!
It's just that vine of all the people around their friends going, oh!
Give you guys an idea. Just give you guys an idea. Imrith rolled a 15. Sarisa, with her insight bonus, rolled a total of 23.
Yes.
I'm assuming I don't need my my check to make sure that the queen is of sound mind.
Queen is of definitely sound mind.
Definitely sound mind, yeah.
She's doing fine.
Yeah, the thing is, she has a regent. We all know don't fuck with the regent.
Yeah, because I'm I'm pretty sure we're about to see a dead fucking
so
dragon.
it's more that if the queen has known something up, the regent is going to be right there.
She's looking towards Imrith in this moment, who just goes, "What do you mean? Don't be absurd. I just had a slip of the tongue." And she just begins darting her eye back between her and you guys for the moment.
Your Majesty, I'd advise disarming her before.
I elbow Varys again. Shh. You're a good talker.
I'm saying
I
it.
couldn't agree more. And she just points towards Imrith. But as she does point towards Imrith, Imrith lurches forward, grabbing at her neck. And you see that she grabs towards that rod that was upon the neck and pulls it. And as she does, it breaks away, the link does, from the neck. And you see Sadisa freeze in place the moment she did, as if stuck. And she looks towards all of you. "You really begin to piss me off!" And,
If you cast a spell, I'm counterspelling.
right.
If I say
That's going to be the very, very first thing. Then I need you to
Roll high.
Or
Make
die.
it- I need to find my fucking. There we go.
I think it's basically yeah, it's a spell. It's an ability check.
Yeah, with
So it's
wisdom.
my spellcasting ability.
Oh, you're spellcasting, so it's intelligence.
Yeah. Not with proficiency or not? I never remember.
It does include proficiency.
It does. Yeah.
I think it does. I have to check, but right now we'll say it does.
It says make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. I'm
Okay.
assuming them. So it's basically just an Arcana check for me. So I'll
Yeah.
roll Arcana.
Hang on. Yes, thank you, Curls.
I'm gonna use luck again.
Bear in mind, if you do luck,
I get to choose.
you have to take.
No, with luck you get to choose. I believe.
You get to
Hold on.
Yeah, you get to
Okay.
choose.
This is an ability check, yeah?
This is what I want to determine is whether my auras.
I get to choose.
Auras
it's
won't help.
Saving, yeah, it's a saving.
Your auras are
I
just for
always-
saving throws.
It's
Yeah,
the first
I
one.
always make that confuse. I
Taking
always
it.
confuse that. So I'm
Is it-
sorry, guys.
Is
It's
it an
an
ability check?
It is an ability check. It says in the description. I have to
Okay.
make an ability check.
I will bend luck and add a d4 to it.
It's just to the 18.
So it's
You
an
watch as this
unnatural
arcane
20.
flourish begins flowing around her, and she begins to shimmer out of existence. But in that moment, Varys just raises out a hand, and bang! She's just knocked back by this wave of force energy that just hits her and disrupts the spell. Oh, I should have killed you last time. And she reaches for the blade, and I need you all to roll initiative.
As I stand up, can I just yell at the guard behind me? Don't just stand there, get reinforcements!
Okay, if the actually that one is the one that speaks fucking. I was like, yeah, no, that is the one that speaks fucking thingy.
It is
Yeah, I'm
10 to
definitely
10,
getting
so
alert.
people are aware.
Part of me wants to use luck again, but I always save one for just in case. So I'm not
Save
gonna-
one for in case.
I always save
one
one
in case.
Always save
for all my shit. Need it. Yeah.
I get to roll for the fucking Imperator. I didn't think I'd get to do that. That's
No,
not
I'll be
including his
honest.
+5. That's not including his +5 from alert.
Now I'll be honest. During my first roll, I rolled an 11. So if you want to adjust that to an 11,
You can do it if you click on the number next to
yeah,
it. when you-
I'm
I'll
just
find
saying
it for you,
it just
don't
to be, just to actually say, yeah, I did roll an 11 first off.
Okay, is everyone on the board?
I believe so.
Okay. Ash, you
Yep.
definitely do not go before Imrith, and neither does.
Blue, what's
Giant.
your dex?
+1.
How many of us got
Okay, I'll go
11?
first,
A lot of you got 11.
because I have a +3 to my dex.
Yeah, you go first.
11, yay!
11, 11, 11.
11, level 11.
Oh god, yeah, there's 4 11s. Holy shit.
Yeah. I have a 15 in dex, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't put me up anymore.
I'm kind of hoping the guards outside were on high alert, being that we're strangers in their throne room. as
Hopefully,
it is.
hopefully.
As she reached for the blade at the start of the initiative, she drew it out and said, Fazuna Zano Kiravador!
Oh shit!
That's for a
Oh yeah, she doesn't have to fucking worry about using all the words because it would only
Yeah.
summon her.
Yes.
Yep.
Or reinforcements.
You
There's a
just watch
story
as
thought.
lightning crackles around her in like a 10-foot thing splashing up, and lightning does hit up against Cerisa next to her, but has no effect.
Is she still frozen in place? Like she got
She's just paralyzed. Just immediately, the moment it was ripped off, she was thrown back in the seat, hands down to the sides, and stuck in place.
Oh shit! I know what that is. Out of character.
Okay.
glad
Let's
you
don't
did.
tell us. 'Cause I don't want to know.
Yeah.
You're up,
Okay.
you're up.
I know exactly what that is.
I'm first!
No, be me first. Remember,
Oh yeah,
I have higher decks.
great. You can panic instead.
So the diplomat now has gone into the straight gif of shame that.
I'm using my eye bite.
Oh, guns blazing.
Ooh.
Good morning, Baltimore.
Good morning, Vietnam! Okay.
Considering she had to use her reaction for the blade, she does not get to use her reaction right now for the eye bite. So it's a wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Okay. Jesus, I've got a lot of character sheet. Oh no, that's Inazuma I have up. Whoops. Wrong thing. Where the fuck is she at? There she is. It's the other eye. Imrith and Inazuma. Wisdom save?
Yep.
Okay, what effect do you choose?
That smile, though. That smile, though.
Choose.
Because you have to tell me
Carefully.
before I decide what I do.
Very carefully.
Asleep.
Mm.
Just try it.
Yeah, asleep.
Okay. Unaware of the spell effect being thrown out at her, she chose not to use. Or no, she would. There's no way she wouldn't. She has to use her legendary resistance here. She's going to use a legendary resistance, my dude.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine.
That's why you
Oh,
don't-
shit,
that's
I
why you
forgot.
don't
Yep.
open with your highest spell.
Thank you, Zero.
Well, no. The thing of it is, though, is I was using it without. With
Yeah,
no
you don't even use the spell slot.
consequence. That's
Yeah,
the only reason
He gets
why
to do
I
it once a day without spell slot from evocation.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if I was to do it again, then I would have to use
Yeah.
Spell
So-
slot.
What else do you want to do, my dude?
Since that didn't work, I'm then going to use Hex.
Okay. You have hexed Imrith. I'm
Yes,
gonna give her
and
this
since
nasty
it's
little
at
skull
the
icon. Man.
highest level that can be done, it'll last for 24 hours. And I will make it so that she...
Remind me, it's checks, not saving throws.
Yes, I understand that. So I will do... let's see, she's probably super... I'll do Wisdom.
Okay, wisdom checks. So
Yeah.
perception and things like that will be down for her, and insight.
Yes.
Okay, that's your turn. Do you want to move?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I like to move. Wait till I can-
Declump, people, declump.
Yeah, we knew this from last time.
There we go.
Okay, you clump. You move away. Kirok, it is now your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna immediately just go. Ah! Go
Okay, use your
Olivia.
bonus action to scream. Oh shit! I forgot someone. Foreign.
Oh, he's gonna get killed.
Baby!
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
Torin?
this is Torin, not foreign.
Yeah.
If Torin
Torin-
was if
Torin
Torin was here, this
fucking
would be an
run.
entirely different thing.
Yeah, if
Torin
Farin was here,
here-
we'd have one already.
Foreign would just look at her and go, "Bitch, this is why you broke my arm." Because you're a dragon with stupid decks. No, poor boy. Bottom of the initiative, right next to Zero. The best Roby boys are at the bottom. Okay, Kirok.
Yeah, so I go to there to just be like, ah! And I will hold my action to toss out a chromatic orb for when another giant attacks her.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to look like we're attacking her on no grounds.
No, but at this point you just see Imperator Thurtle look at her, look at what she's just ripped from her.
I'm
Sarita.
just being cautious. Yeah, I'ma do that.
And it's only now that he actually roars, you just see his eyes go bloodshot red.
Hey, it's Bob. It's a barbarian.
And he just pulls up here and grabs for Imrith by the throat. But Imrith has to make an athletics check.
Barbarian.
Okay. At Arkham, when you realize, yeah, that might not have been enough.
Jeez.
Hang on, how does that work?
Mood.
No. The stats for this are wrong. It's only counting in his strength. It's only counting in his strength, and not his actual proficiency bonus for his.
Ooh, tea.
It's not tea. Microwave.
Context.
Okay, and as he is an ally, I'm going to have his rolls visible.
So did you just microwave a potato?
So he gets to make an athletics check. You watch she just grabs
Ow!
Imrith by the throat, lifts her up, and grabs the rod off of her before throwing her against the back wall, and just immediately putting the rod back, just like puts the rod in Sarisa's hand, and Sarisa goes, and at that point, he just pulls out, he just has that massive, he just, with the hand just reaches out, and that's trident he drops to grab, goes into his hand, and he jabs forward 3 times. With the trident, is that using his actual bonus to hit? It is not. No, wait, it is. It calculated it in. Nice. Wait, no, it fucking didn't. Piece of shit. Yep.
Fucking goals!
You just watch as he just slams, and you see the wall behind Imrith break as he goes trident deep into her, each time stabbing in with all 3, pulling out, stabbing in, pulling out, stabbing in, twisting it to get 3 new puncture holes each time. And she just coughs up a gout of blood as he does. Okay. That's how we're doing it. That's fine. That's fine. I can play that game. And she just changes form at this point at the end of his turn and enlarges. She looks towards the party. Oh, by the way, Kirak, your chromatic orb will go off now.
Okay, yeah.
Couple.
It's,
How much damage did you do again? Fuck, you did a lot. That's 48. That's 60. That is 76. And then that is 96. Okay, Kirak, you're up. Throw out that orb.
It's acid. Oh, it was good. That was a good
I have to check.
Yeah, she got high AC.
That's the AC.
Oh boy!
Acid chromatic orb. You splash out against her. At that point, she looks towards the clump that's left of people, including the stone giant. Goes, okay, no, I'm not having that. And just gouts back and proceeds to blow out a blast towards all of them. But in that moment, Uthor, using his reaction, uses the bodyguard trait and literally body blocks her, ending up taking a great deal of lightning crackling into him. He takes no damage. However, everyone behind him gets to make a dexterity saving throw. Should you succeed, you take half damage. Or you take no damage, sorry. You take half damage if you fail, no damage if you succeed. So that is going to be Glory, Varys, Zero, and Ashk, as well as Torun, who's not good for Dex, the poor boy.
No, my boy!
My son!
Jesus Christ, he rolled a fucking What's that in total?
You
You little bastard! That's 23! That's 24! Fuck
I
you!
believe
My
Ash
boy!
is- I believe Ash's aura in effect.
Yes, all
Yeah.
of you guys have that bonus.
Interesting.
Fuck it, he beat
sorry.
the DC by 1. DC 23.
Fuck.
Okay. What am I
I got
looking
21.
at?
Nobody made it.
I'll use
Zero
my
can.
ring to. Oh, yeah, I'm
You
actually use
take-
my ring.
31 points of damage, all of you, because he is body blocking it.
Am I alright to use my ring?
Yeah, you could succeed it. Yeah.
I'll use my reaction to absorb elements.
You take half of that
So
again, you
half
go
of it.
down to 15. So you take only 15
I
points
nearly
of damage.
did minus 13 instead of 31 then.
15, you said, yeah?
Yes. Oh, and
fuck, who was that?
Tauren actually succeeded, so he takes no damage. A little bastard.
Hey, that's my
Rolled a total
boy.
of He rolled. Give you an
Run,
idea.
my son, run!
Give you an idea. He rolled a 19, and he's got a +5. Brought him to 24, one
Oh.
above the DC.
You said he wasn't good at Dex!
No, he's not. I thought he wasn't. He's meant to be based on a wizard, but his stat block is different. Okay. Yeah. So that was the end of his turn. She did her legendary action to change and breathe. And now, as much as I would love to kill you all, I've got far more important things to do. And she raises up her hand, or her claw, and begins to try and fade out.
Anybody got a counterspell?
But I
One
don't
person
have
does, the
counterspell.
little bastard.
I don't have counterspell.
No, not you. You watch as Torn raises up his hand.
My boy!
And has out one of his slabs, looks to it, pulls, and blasts.
I was gonna
And
tell him
just
to run and
walks
now I changed my mind.
And you can tell he's just, his hands are shaking, just... Oh,
Nice
I'm gonna
one,
kill
kid.
you next. And you just watch as this arcane surge rushes through her. And she just waves out her hand towards all of you. And, oh boy, what's this gonna
My
do?
kingdom for that bodyguard thing.
Yeah, be a bodyguard for about 200 years. Or, sorry, no, go 1,000, then talk to me.
Yeah, and be 10 times the size of Glory.
I'll work on it. I'll work real hard on that.
You need to do some real lifting. You need to get buff.
Get some chicken meals.
Hey!
It's large,
Let
you
us
know,
go.
you can actually go.
Okay, she is getting desperate, so she's going to use her one a day. Keep the doctor away. But I've just got to decide on what she's choosing to...
I think it's gonna keep everyone away if it's only something she can do one a day and it's Imrith.
Okay. Yeah, this is what she's gonna do. She looks towards him, and he doesn't have any of those. Does not beat her DC. You watch as she just raises up a hand, and,
Don't you hurt my boy.
That's not
Uthwar
the
in
same
front of
thing.
him. Just chains wrap up around him immediately from the ground, his neck, everything, and he's just held as she uses her ninth level to fucking chain that bastard.
Oh, shit.
She just used imprisonment.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, and then she just walks back over to Cerisa. Now, my dear, about your death. You just claw out, and now Cerisa gets to be on the fucking initiative order because she can now act again. So, okay, so Cerisa's actually in order, so I'm gonna say she gets to go next because she should have gone last turn. So she just takes that massive maul she has, and she's going to try and blast twice against Imrith in the face with it. So she does not
My
whisper her
girl.
roll. It's like someone threatens to kill her, gets up and tries to hit a bitch.
Honestly, I can respect that.
It does not have advantage because he's no longer flanking, so that's a miss.
Working on it.
That, however, is, and yeah, she's going to do it. As you just see this great, like, radiant energy erupt from the end of the maul as she swings and hits in.
Hello, my fellow paladin lady.
That is a total of 45 points of damage.
Hello,
Smacked
my
right in the
lady.
face.
Hello, my honey. Hello.
She just cracks him in the face, I just see him just get. You watch Imrith, who leaned in too close, whack straight into the jaw, as Sarisa is just there, standing atop the throne. She actually ends up taking the rod and has it like tucked away, but made 2 attacks, and that's all she can do. Who's next after her? Imrith. It is now the. So Imrith is going to use her 2 more legendary actions. And. Okay. I know when I'll just kill you next time. And raises her hand again, using an 8th level this time. Is there anyone who wants to attempt to counter spell?
Reactions come back at the start of your turn, right?
Yes.
I can't.
Okay. I'm just
I
asking
mean, I'll
if there's
try it.
anyone who can.
I don't have it.
Kirak, you muted?
Can I pull off a
Luke, you're muted.
an Ian and pretend to an Ian the Illusionist pretend to counter spell?
No, you're not doing the fucking patterns on me.
But that was awesome!
It was bullshit and you know
was
it.
awesome!
Anyway, you watch this time, she looks to all of you. No. And just raises a hand, using her last 2 legendary actions. Oh no, she got them all back actually because her turn just went. She is out of there.
Is Imperator still imprisoned?
Yes.
Shit. Well, I kind of knew she would.
After a while, you notice his rage does not drop. He just seems to be permanently just.
Oh, we
And
have
And,
this- You watch as Thorin like just waddles up to him and looks and raises out a hand, like he puts away a tome, puts away a slab, puts out another one, thumbs over it, and just like traces his fingers before waving it and nodding before putting that away, and then taking out another slab. And he looks towards points towards Varys actually and motions him towards you.
I was going to say, if you need some help with this, 'cause
I don't think I can perform the spell to the power, but together we might. And he points towards, and this slab he has is a slab of dispelment.
yeah,
Basically, it's like a scroll of dispelment, except it's on
Yeah.
a slab.
well, I've got it prepared, so I can try and do it. I'll be like, Torin, let me try,
Do you want some
and
help?
I will cast a 5th level Dispel Magic.
I need to check how this is dispelled.
It works. Dispel Magic works the same as Counter Spell with like
Okay,
spell
roll
level.
then.
So if it's above 5th, I have to roll. So it's
It's a 9th.
Oh, well, I think I get it.
Oh,
yeah, I
jeez.
think you've done it. Fucking hell.
You just trace your fingers down across the symbol. Like you can tell all these chains, and you just like put your finger to one of them, and they all just evaporate off as it just goes.
But I said 5th. That's a 5th level spell.
Thank you. And he just immediately runs towards Sarisa. My queen, are you okay? Sarisa is definitely taken aback by this affair and is definitely shocked. But puts her hand to Uthor, who lifts her from the throne in that moment. Krauser, I will kill you.
I didn't say it
I
out
will bring Imrith back just to kill you,
Didn't
and
say
no one will
anything.
stop
Please
us.
do.
No, he didn't say anything, but he typed something.
She is the fake queen. Spit on the fake queen.
Oh,
You said it. There you go, kill him.
Also, I have my new microphone.
yeah, you
Okay, he's
sound
got the new
bassier.
microphone. I'm gonna let him off.
I wanted to test it real quick. See if it actually worked.
Bassy
With a
boy.
meme. You testing it with a meme.
Anyway,
Yeah.
tangent. Carry on.
He got the bass, got the bass, got the bass. Treble.
Sarisa looks to all of you. And there's a very deep contemplation on her face as she looks towards you all. Evil has swept its way into my quarters and into my life, into the lives of my family, and have betrayed us. You have my thanks for your expeditious action and attempts of at least interrupting that crone. Had it not been for you, I would be trapped to this throne until that was returned to me. And she just takes it again and refixes the it's like rubs the chain that was broken between her fingers and just mends back together, and she puts it back over her neck and it hangs down. You were referred to as you came in, and she looks towards the Roman, and she's speaking still in common. You refer to yourselves as defenders of Faerun. You are that and the defenders of the world itself against that creature. She was able to get inside our court, inside our council. That will never be allowed again. And she steps forward and puts a hand out towards the pool. Summon them all in. And Uthor lowers his head and moves out before returning. And the other giants that were waiting in council come in.
Gloria and Kirok look the other way. Simultaneously.
I still keep myself very, very low, keeping my still. Yeah, I am a dwarf in front of thousands and thousands. Well, not thousands.
Thousands of muscle anyway, thousands of pounds of muscle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just considerable giants, and I am basically like an ant.
She looks as she has her hand in the water and raises it out. Val, brother of the Countess, you are to return to her immediately and inform her she is no longer to do any dealings with Imrith. No sales and no purchases, no deals. Should she return, she must be met with the full force of your castle. Thatra, Duchess, ruler second only to Zalto himself, champion of my father. You will return to him, and tell him that you are being influenced by this witch. Should she return, he is to engage her with all the might he can dispose upon her, and is to immediately send peace treaties to deal with any matters he has been instigating because of her. Helenhild, second son of the Jarl that we all know and well endear. Hear me. Return to your father. Return to Storvald, and let him know that your quest, the quest that he planned due to the aid of Imrith, shall be ended immediately. The Ring of Eternal Winter will not be brought to this world, nor will it be used to control and rule it all. There is no champion of Chief Disgut here, but albeit they may forget the message as I tell them. But you three, hearken to me. These are your words. You will take them to your rulers, and they will obey. If they do not, they are traitors to this court, and if you have any loyalty to it, you will call them upon this, and we will inform me as a result. Before she looks towards Thorin, child, son of a true champion, son of the Thane, hear me. Imrith allowed your mother to control and do dangerous things to the world, to be reckless and destructive. That is to end until we can determine where my father is. Stay her bloodlust and stay her hand. To do anything else is to defy my court and my will. And Thorin is very in a low bow. Before she steps towards them, and the giants do step back and kind of to each other, and she motions for all of you to gather around her as she kneels down towards you all. Small folk, you said you would aid me and bring back my father, whom, to my knowledge now, may still be alive. My word does not carry much yet. There are still some who question my capacity. But I ask you, please do return him if you can. As a sign of good favor, there is a boon I can provide. But additional to this, name one request of any of the counts, of any of the giants, and I will ensure it is adhered to.
Sorry, I dropped something.
just dropped
That
your
was
staff.
in game. That was in game.
As she said that, you just dropped your staff. Just
Sorry, it's made of glass. It doesn't break. Carry on. Sorry.
she looks to all of you, waiting for a response.
If you would be okay with you, Majesty, maybe have some time to think on what we want asked.
If you wish to, we do have quarters here for people of your size if you wish to stay to contemplate. However, with the knowledge that my father is still alive, potentially, I would want him to be sought after as soon as possible.
Right, of course.
There is one thing
Your
I can...
Highness,
Yes.
if I may, I believe I already have my request.
I would like to hear it. Of course, bear in mind, anything of too much of an absurdity I may not be able to fulfill.
I of course understand.
I just kind of grab Zero's arm, just like.
We don't get one each. It's one.
What? Thought it was one each.
Maybe
Nope,
we should
just one.
It's one. That's why we want
Maybe
to
we
talk
should
about
take
it.
a short respite in a week so we can discuss this. Just not for we don't need to stay on overnight. Just a short.
If you
short
wish,
respite.
you may. There is plenty of space here to discuss. And she waves her hand towards the guard and motions to the back. The gifts, bring them. And he nods and leaves. Before
The
returning.
gifts.
We had,
Yes.
my mother had planned that on her next trip she would do a trade and deal that we usually do with the small folk of the city of Waterdeep on the coast. This has been, of course, prevented. We found her body and brought it back. Many stab wounds, many knife wounds, many blades. Blades of folk of your size. Although there were larger wounds that were explained away as shots from ballista or cannon from a ship. But these now I could... And she is thinking. Claw marks. And there is a brimming in her eyes. That wretch is a threat. And what I'm about to give you is for your next encounter with her. Should you know you will face her, you are all to drink one. And the chest is brought out and she opens them up. Varys, Ashk, Kirok, and Glory, you recognize these vials. You've seen one drank before, when it was drank by Nezinar.
God, that's a throwback!
God, that's so
A potion
old.
of giant size.
Oh,
I will explain the
fuck.
rules of which. There is one for each of you.
I
So,
threw a
yeah.
magic missile at that. That's from like 2 years ago.
Allow me to show this to you. When you drink this potion, you become huge for 24 hours if you are a medium or smaller creature. Otherwise, it has no effect. For said duration, your strength becomes 25 if it is not already higher. Your hit point maximum doubles. Your weapon reach is increased by 5 feet. Whatever you are carrying or wearing also increases in the size for the duration. And when you roll damage on weapons enlarged in this manner, roll 3 times the normal dice. For example, a 1d8 or a 1d8 now becomes 3d8, or 1d10 becomes 3d10, for example. When this effect ends, any hit points you have above your maximum become temporary hit points.
Girls, you're muted, but I could already read your lips perfectly when you say it.
I do a lot of fucking damage.
I know, but think
It
about it.
requires 1 minute to fully drink the potion.
Just a quick reminder, you could also add on top of that enlarge. Glory, you could be very big.
Oh, you'd be fucking a titan.
You'd go to gargantuan size.
You could literally get her in a full Nelson.
You can wrestle her at that size.
I'm excited to do my 5d8
You could
Shadow
wrestle
Blade
her
with
at
15d8.
huge.
Dash, here's a question.
Yes.
Shadow Blade is 3d8 weapon damage. Would that then be tripled to 9d8?
It's tripled.
I can cast it at a higher level to do 5d8. I could do 15d8 damage with one.
Yes, this is what I'm
That'd be
specifically
OP
thinking.
as fuck.
This is what I'm thinking, is that me as a paladin, I will hit...
Yeah. Now bear in mind, it says weapon damage.
Yeah,
So I'm going
divine
to say that now. It's weapon damage. Shadow Blade is a spell. So if you say...
but it creates a weapon, and it is a weapon attack.
Yeah, it's counted as the weapon attack.
I'm going to say that for the sake of ease, 1d8 of that gets tripled. Because otherwise
That's
you get
fair.
stupid. Now,
That's
it does
fair.
not work for things like Divine Smite either. It is your weapon attack.
Yeah, because that was what I
Your
wanted...
sl-
Yeah, that's what I wanted
Along-
to triple check, is because at level 11, I hit with an extra 1d8 on every attack. Now, it's more that I wanted to triple check. Would that be...
Back 2 seconds.
Would that be the attack damage from Goliatori would be tripled, and
Yes.
that additional 1d8?
No. It is
No.
only...
But
So
that
you
that
deal
is what I wanted to call.
2d6 with Goliatori. That now becomes 66.
Number of the beast.
So that's what'll happen, but your Divine Smite won't. Now, this is only when you drink the potion and for 24 hours. You do lose the effects of the giant size when you lose the total health, like what happened with Nezanar. When he was brought to
Yeah.
half of his normal health, he went down again.
Yeah. But I presume...
Well, actually,
that-
his one was... I do believe his one was broken as he was still drinking it, so only got
Yeah,
partially of the effect.
I threw a magic missile at it to stop him drinking it, I remember.
Yeah, you interrupted his tail end of it, so that's why. But with it, it means for the duration, you are huge and have that bonus. So basically, until you drop, once you go to 0, back down to normal.
Das. Shadow Blade, it does say in here, it counts as a simple melee weapon.
I'm going to say only...
Yeah.
I'm going to say that
right.
if it's cast at a higher level, those additional dice don't increase. So see
Yeah.
how it says 2d8?
just the 2d8.
I'll say it
2d8.
becomes... I'll say it comes 68, but anything additional to that does not say quadruple or pentuple from it.
That makes sense.
Because that's where an item like that will get very broken. Because that
Yeah,
spell
definitely.
came out after that item did.
Yes,
So
yeah.
it's not meant to commingle, we'll say.
That's cool.
Before we leave, I'm just gonna tug on Roman's arm because I'm kneeled that far down in front of royalty and just say, "You might want to tell her where the hill giant is so she can,
Right, I thought about that, but at the same time, well, I guess it's, at this point it's fine. It should be fine. Your Majesty,
Yes.
for us to have actually gotten here to speak with you in this council, we did have to borrow the hill giants' conch.
Please tell me not from their corpse. Not
No.
Not for a
No.
moment of anger or respite. More for the fact that it's an irritation to try and organize them.
No. I mean, there are some hill giants we had to kill because they didn't seem reason. But the chiefess is kind of stuck in her hole.
We didn't
Upside
hurt-
down.
We didn't hurt her at all, she just fell in.
Yeah, she fell
She fell
in.
down.
And she just puts a bridge to her nose. Of course she did.
Yeah.
I will ensure that someone is sent to aid her, because that's going to be a colossal effort to move her in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Very well. At least I know that. Also, those aren't the only potions inside. There is also, now I don't have the actual wording, ultimate healing potions. Basically, max, like the best healing potions you can
I
get.
think they're called
Supreme?
Superior.
I'm not sure if it's superior or ultimate, but either
think
way, it
it's-
is
Superior.
It is the highest tier, so it is them. So mark down that there is 4 of those.
4. Yep.
Gives one to Glory immediately.
While she's taking
Your-
notes,
I'll put me
Your
in the bag and hold him.
Majesty, permission to speak freely, if I may.
you may.
I have been granted a vision as to the potential threat that, for lack of a better term, your league is intended to place.
You saw them all fall, didn't you? Beaten and bloodied. Only Stromos still stood. I saw the same thing. I thought it was a nightmare. Now I see it's more reality.
It is my goal, Paladin, to eradicate this threat.
Then do me a favor and eradicate that dragon along the way.
I bow and say, Your Majesty, I understand that myself and the dwarf may demean what I say in these halls. Believe me, I do not act race, but I act for the balance of this land. So, whatever you deem is right for this world as royalty, I will
Thank-
do it.
There is one last thing I need to give you. And she reaches into a very small pocket, pulls out what is for her a minuscule bag between her fingers. But for you guys, it is the size of your handful. And she lays it out and hands it over to whomsoever hand is closest. Opening it up,
I guess it would be me.
she lowers it down very
Oh my
gingerly
God.
to you.
I figured also because I was the
Storm giant
speaker.
holding.
Yeah, it's literally just like very delicately held. You open up inside and you see that there are weird coins. These were found on the body of someone who was left inside of the battlefield in which my mother was found. These coins you see are, for lack of a better term, a betting chip with the design of a golden goose in the center. I know
Shit.
not what this refers to or who, but this is the only league we have towards the small folk and my mother. Whomever
Do you want
had
to say it or
these,
do I?
whomever had these, most likely had some dealing in her death or my father's capture. You no doubt do intend to, as I trust you do, aid my people in this moment. I would ask you to investigate using these as your link.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I now know where we need to go.
Oh, you do? I have no idea.
Unfortunately, yes. We're off to Yatar, everybody.
Oh. Also, real quick, out of character, Supreme Healing is the top healing potion.
Thank you.
Because it
It's
does
exactly
10d,
in between of the two words.
yeah, 10d4 plus 20.
10d4 plus 10
No, 10d4 plus 20.
plus 20. Ah,
Yes.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
like my entire health pool.
Due to many things that I cannot say out loud, do I have some idea of how much money these many Yatar chips are worth?
each HR is worth about 20 gold.
Yeah,
and that bag
there's a
is
lot,
full
right?
of about 4. Yeah, that bag's full of about 60 or
Shit.
70 of them.
Shit.
So there's a lot of money there.
That's worth a lot of money, yeah.
That's literally
Okay.
20 times 70.
So it's a high roller.
I'm trying to equate it to poker chips right now because only thing I can
Basically, if you could have a poker chip with a 20 on it to represent a $20 worth, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like the way the goose is inlaid in it. Gloria, you're aware that gold inlaid goose is worth 20, silver is worth 10, copper is worth 5.
I believe the poker chips go up to 500.
I'm not going that far into my...
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think I might be thinking.
I literally made up those other...
Yeah, it also depends on casino.
Yeah.
Because some
It's
casinos
You
have
all
like
new casinos.
This is my knowledge of casinos done. I also know that if you
Yeah.
try to rob them, they'll basically take you all back, strap you to a chair, and play Rochambeau with your nuts.
Episode 70, Kirok goes
I
family.
don't think it. I think that's like in the
Anyway,
movie.
tangent.
Anyway,
That's the big tangent again. Let's carry on.
Okay. Out of character, do we know where her father went? Does anyone know that? Or is that something
No.
we should definitely ask?
No, that's
Glory
why
won't,
we were
but like, I'm
that's-
putting it out there in the
That's
global
why
consciousness.
I was like, hey, maybe we should scry on him and see what is happening, and then that happened.
I'm gonna
Also-
elbow Roman and just be like, ask where her father went.
Roman,
yeah. Your Majesty, where was your father first setting off to?
He was going immediately to where my mother was found, where my mother was found close to the Red Rocks, but it looked like more as if she was left there than she was killed there. There was very little signs of battle, but whatever happened, one or two people seem to have lost their life. For now, if you can, please begin this expedition. Should you come to a decision on what request you have of me, before you go, name it, and it will be done by my will. If not, return with my father, and it will be done doubly so. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for bringing this to my attention and that of my court. Now, not speaking as the queen, kill that scaly bitch.
I'm working on it.
You have our
guys.
word, Your Majesty.
I mean, we've tried twice at this point.
That's what I meant by working on it, Kirok.
Well, to be fair, this time you did a lot better. You were dead in the first turn.
We had help.
And with that,
you might. Okay.
we're going to end the session.
Fuck!
Kirok needs to go find a plant pot so she can throw up into it.
Oh,
God, that's a mood right now.
I'm sorry.
She
I'm sorry.
feels very unhappy.
Sorry, Carl. I've just noticed you somewhat slumped in your chair. Like,
I went all the way down here.
Also, how does my new mic sound?
It's
oh,
good.
dude, you sound
It's a
sexy.
little bit
Spicy.
loud. Move it a little
Yeah.
bit away.
Yeah,
It's very
good?
easy though, which is
There we go.
nice.
that's better.
And it's got a nice bass to it.
Bass.
All about that bass.
Well, the bit.
I'll do biscuit base.
Now listen here, you outdated meme.
Never
Biscuit
too old.
base.
Right, well, we'll see you guys next week for whatever
more
the
screaming.
hell is
Buttery
even
base,
happening.
base, buttery
Remember to
base.
shop at Game Tea.
Woo!
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. Good night.